Hello and welcome to Beepanock Farm and welcome to our busiest week of the year. This is going to be our busiest week for lambing and I aim to give you a little bit of an update every day. So today is Saturday, this is the first day of our diary. So let's see who's new in the pens. So this is Zelda. And this is her two ewe lambs who are new. This is Elder and Eileen. Elder and Eileen arrived very late last night, so very late on Friday night, be about 11:30. Mummy did a really good job of delivering them, but then didn't really want to dry them, so I stepped in with the towel. Day 2 of our very busy week and we're off out to move some lambs to a different shed just now. So this is Yogi and her two lambs, Eve and Era, and they are a week old, so they're big enough and definitely strong enough to go into the other shed, and that'll free up this pen for some new arrivals. A bit tricky to film, but we're just actually painting numbers onto the lambs and the sheep so they don't get muddled up, so we know who belongs to who. So this lamb needs a little number 4 on its side. So there'll be a bit of a mash-up now while the ones that were already in here greet each other. But this will be their playpen for a bit now. So it's day 3 and it's about lunchtime and I'm in the shed with Yazzie, who's in active labour and I think might be struggling with a beast of a lamb. So here he is, about 10 minutes old. Gave Yazzie a little bit of help and he is a whopper. Nice lamb though. Well done, Mum. We're about 10:30 on day 4 at night, obviously, and we've realised that Zelda is not able to feed her twins. She doesn't have very much milk, so when they were first born I checked for colostrum and that was fine, so they had their colostrum feed. Now we're a couple of days in, she's not keeping pace, she's not making enough milk, so we've had to go and buy some powdered milk and we're topping them up a few times a day because they look a little bit dehydrated. About lunchtime on day 5 and I've got a ewe in labour. She's been in active labour for a while now, so I have examined her and I adjusted what I think was potentially a leg back. Seems to be going all right now. So it's very nerve-wracking when it's been like this. As I say, I have felt inside and the lamb has pulled back as I've rearranged its legs a little bit. So I know that it's alive, but things have been going on a little bit longer than I would like. You can see its little toes, so a couple more pushes and it should really be out. So Mum's had a baby boy and a baby girl. Well done, Zion. The second lamb was coming with no legs, it was just a head, so that really did require me to intervene. Well done, lady. That's it, give him some love. We're a bit later on day 5 and we're trying to move baby Elvis and mummy Coco into the second shed. Coco's the first time, Mum, and she's sort of struggling with this. Come on. So there is a little bit of a backstory with little Elvis, who's just here stepping in with mummy Coco, and that is that he did have a sibling, but sadly they were born very heavily deformed. So the deformities that we were born with were very severe. It was twisted right round, so it's kind of like facing one way but twisted right round at the back way, and it came out in an unusual way as well. It's not something I've seen before. And then if you imagine, the torso wasn't quite finished, so some of its insides were on the outside, and it was actually born alive because its heart was beating. Didn't live very long, But it was an awful thing to see. So Elvis is somewhat of a miracle, really, to have survived that. And that's the kind of second bad thing that we've had happen this lambing, because we had two other lambs born dead right at the very beginning of lambing, which is why when I'm lambing twins, particularly this year, I'm going to be more anxious than I would be normally and finding it a little bit hard to chill out about things. It's day 6, it's very early, and the cameras have just revealed that we've got 2 ewes in labour. It has been a little bit intense. Zumba has had her 2 ram lambs. She had them about half an hour apart. In the end, I kind of had to persuade her that she'd had a second baby in there. So I was her midwife. And Beauty did a fairly similar thing, to be honest. Although she did at least want to have the second one. So Joe's been her midwife. Can't quite see, the firstborn one is up and getting a drink. The second one's still not quite sure what's going on. And you're a bit puzzled, aren't you, Beauty? You've not had a lamb before, and now you've had 2. This is the slightly more intense side of things that people don't get to see on social media feeds generally, with one of us trying to deal with one set of twins, one of us trying to deal with another set of twins, trying to turn horses out at the same time, caring for all the lambs that have already been born, letting the chickens out, and then the critical most important thing is our little boy's actually not very well as well, so he's inside watching the television with us having to go out every 15 minutes to check that he's still okay. So bit tired this morning. It's lunchtime on day 7. It's just bucketed it down with sleet, so now it's wet under both sheds. So we're going to have to bed down all the pens tonight, and I think we're probably going to have to bed down shed 2, because in there it's a bit damp for the bigger babies. So the weather's kind of caught up with us. It's not ideal. No new babies yet today. Lunchtime on day 8, and it's all going on in here. Ada is thinking about having her lambs. Chucky the chicken is thinking about being her midwife, and Bernie's on the way down as well. Strange. Joking aside, we've had to pen these 2 ewes. One's 2 days overdue, one's a day overdue. Didn't really want to pen them, wanted to give them the space of the shed, but we've had sleet and I need the space to put some other ewes in that are not quite due yet, because there's no more undercover space for them, so we've just had to clear it regardless of whether we wanted to. So Ada's had her first lamb, quite a big boy. She was scanned for 2, but I'm just really not sure that there's another one in there. And behind me we've got poor old Clover. Say poor old Clover, poor young Clover, she's a first time mum. Just struggling with the beginnings of her delivery, bless her. You alright, love? So this is Clover's little lamb that Joe delivered while me and Henry were out at a party. And he's not had a feed as yet that we're aware of. He's been about for a couple of hours. He's getting a bit tired, so she's had to be tipped because she's not standing. As a first time mum, it can sometimes be confusing, and I've just got him on the teat, and now he thinks it's the best thing ever. Good boy. It might seem the most natural thing in the world for a ewe to feed her offspring, particularly when they've had a bit of a traumatic delivery or it's the first time they've done it. it's not always that easy. We do go to some effort to trim around the bellies of our ewes because they are a very woolly breed, but occasionally we do get this issue, and it's only because we've dealt with it before that we knew what to do here. And here's the other surprise. Ada did have another lamb in there, and it wasn't small either. So that's proved me wrong. And the second one is more capable of finding its food as well. So there we go. Daybreak on day 9. Things have got really weird. This is Beatrix. Beatrix isn't supposed to be due for another week, I think, but has been decided to have this lamb this morning. This ram lamb. I want to say little ram lamb. He's not little. So I need to check my dates and my calendar because in theory she's early, really quite early. That lamb looks well. Is trying to find the milk bar. Does not look early. This ewe is attacking her baby. And this is Athena, who should be in that pen because she's due next and she's digging the ground. So shortly we're going to run out of pens. To cap it all off, I've had to come out in my dressing gown because I was actually inside with Hemi, who's not very well with an earache. A bit later on day 9, Chaos Corner continues. Aphrodite, definitely in labour. Aphrodite's pen shrunk yesterday. She had to have some straw bales put up. She tried to steal Clover's lamb from next door. And Beatrix, in that pen there, still thinking about killing her lamb. And then Athena in the emergency pen at the far end, also in early stages of labour. Oh! Well done, Aphrodite. She kind of just plopped these out. She made it look so easy. It's nice to have something easy going on in here this morning. Thank you. So we're about 8 o'clock on day number 9 at night, and it looks as though Beatrix can finally be trusted with her lamb, Engelbert Humperdinck, Ronnie this year. We've released her from being tied up, and so far so good. We also noticed a problem in Ada's pen earlier on. And amongst all of the delivery chaos, it looked as though one of these little lambs, Earl, who was born first, wasn't feeding properly. When we checked, we didn't think her colostrum looked that brilliant quality. So we actually milked colostrum off the ewe that you saw us milking yesterday, off Clover, and took some out of the freezer and defrosted that to give to that lamb. And although he looks like flat out now, that is because he's relaxed, because he's got plenty in his tummy. So that's a really positive sign. So all of these pens are full. And everything looks okay this evening. So it might be safe for me to go and get a shower and watch the telly for a wee while. It's morning time on day 10 and there's something really cute to show everyone. So this is Athena's little ewe lamb, and this has never happened here before. It's got a giant black spot on it. It is big, actually, and just really, really cute. Looking for the milk bar. She'll get the hang of it. Well done, Mum. I'm surprised at the size of it. The lamb next door's come to say hello. Hello, Excalibur. You're very big, very cute. I don't think you need any extra feed. As you can see from this one, I'm being mobbed slightly. This is the thing, people always think that bottle feeding lambs is a grand idea, but they won't be very good with personal space awareness as they turn into adults, because they now just assume that I'm some sort of climbing frame. and Zelda and her babies. Obviously with a bit of extra feeding from me and Joe, they're doing just fine. Little Elder, little Eileen, Yazzie and her big lamb Excalibur, they're also doing fine. Beauty and her two, X-Ray and Herbert, Ion and her two babies, Eros and Esme, bit quieter. Zion's a quiet little soul. Zumba with Eric and Ernie. They're pretty wild, these two lambs, big strong lambs out of a big strong ewe. Ida with Earl and Escher. Earl got off to the bad start and had colostrum pinched from another ewe to try and help him along. Seems to be doing a bit better. They're not the strongest lambs that we've had, but I think they'll be okay. Edna and Einstein, the children of Aphrodite, who literally just plopped her lambs out. What a steady girl, well done. Clover and her lamb Errol. There's Clover that didn't want to feed him. If you remember, we tipped her up. She's completely taken to motherhood and, as you guys know, provided colostrum for other lambs. So she's been a superstar for a first-time mum. And you all remember Beatrix, who yesterday morning hated her lamb and was trying to kill it. Engelbert Humperdinck. Here he is, belter of a lamb. And Beatrix has decided she will participate in motherhood after all. All is good. And then little Athena and Ermentrude, born just this morning with her amazing spot. Love it. Just starting to get the springs. Have these three ladies left waiting to have theirs soon. Of course, we have the other ladies and the other lambs in shed 2. You saw us moving into there the other day. Some of the bigger lambs are in the other shed. I think we've got 21 or 22 lambs now so far, and a couple more to go, but that's certainly the most intense period that we're going to see. So that was our 10 days of chaos. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you to everybody who supports the channel. I really hope you've enjoyed watching this. If you could give the video a like, that'd be fantastic. If you could subscribe to the channel, that'd be even more fantastic. Thank you for joining us. Take care, and we'll see you all again soon.